and talk to us about this Indiana win. So much went right for the Pacers. What went wrong for Oklahoma City? We'll break it all down. Charles, you get the honor here. You, all three of you picked the Pacers to win this game, and they did so.
Yeah, they played a really good game in the second quarter, in the third and fourth quarter. They got off to a slow start. But great job, young gun. I think that the one thing I told you, I hated them making the starting lineup adjustment because it screwed up their bench. If you go back and look at this game, when did the Pacers make their 2 runs? When they went to their bench. So it changed the momentum of that OKC's had the best bench in the NBA all season, and they're out of whack.
Yeah.
But the difference was now the Pacers bench are outplaying them, and, man, we got a hell of a series. There's a lot of pressure on the OKC in that next game.
Let's not waste any time. Bring in our first guest of the evening, Tyrese Haliburton. Congratulations, Tyrese, on the big win here. You go off and score 22, 11 assists. I mean, when you score 20 or more, you're now 8-1 in this postseason. Listen, we got to talk about the bench. We got to talk about your defense. But let's start with you in that first half. We were wondering if you would take more of an initiative and be more aggressive after not taking very many first-half shots in game 1 and 2. How much of that was your focus coming into tonight?
I think just being aggressive. It's not about, shooting so many shots, trying to get downhill, trying to get 2 feet in the paint. I think that's my job as a point guard. And then from there, I can figure it out. So just trying to, make the adjustments that, I've been watching a lot of film over the last couple of days, preparing. This defense is interesting. They got a lot of guys at point of attack. They mix it up. They mix up coverages, all that stuff. So just trying to make adjustments on the fly. It's basketball. There's ebbs and flows. Not every game's going to be perfect. I'm going to have rough games, but it's all about how I respond. And how we respond as a group.
You talk about OKC's depth, but your depth with the Pacers, just everybody stepping up, being able to knock down the 3, get to the paint. But can you talk about Ben Mathurin and TJ McCollum just coming in and doing a great job of changing the momentum, obviously speeding up the pace of the game and just playing under control?
Yeah, I just thought they did a good job. We really needed that boost, especially in the second quarter. We had a rough first quarter. Second unit came, brought energy. When TJ gets those steals, the building really gets into it. Ben was amazing, getting downhill, not overthinking things. I thought he did a great job operating the pick and roll, just rising up and shooting over guys, getting downhill. He just made play after play. Our whole second group did. Honestly, our second group really won us the game. So shout out to those guys.
So what is the deal with Siakam? Why he go from passive to aggressive from game to game? Because, he was fantastic tonight. You got going later and early, obviously. But why is he so up and down as far as just being aggressive?
I don't think that's a fair assessment, to be honest with you. I think the way that they guard, he operates so well in the mid-post. But you got to understand, when he's catching it in the mid-post, they're talking about rotating the guy fully from the baseline. They just got hands, and they're swarming the ball. So we're just trying to make reads play the right way. Thought he did a great job operating today. It's hard when you catch it at the nail where he really likes to operate. The way they guard is just boxes and elbows. So we got to do a much better job of giving him the correct spacing and just figuring it out. But I think from game to game, just taking what the defense gives you, I thought he did a great job setting the tone. We just followed his lead.
And, Chuck, that's the polite way of saying that he doesn't agree with you. What you're saying is wrong. But anyway, everybody's talked about the defense of OKC in this series. But your defense for this team tonight in Game 3, you forced 17 turnovers, 21 points off turnovers. Was there anything from a defensive adjustment from Game 2 to Game 3 here tonight that you guys did?
I thought we just did a great job of showing hands, showing bodies. The first half we were rough, but I thought we did a great job of just adjusting as the game went on. The way that they play with Shea getting downhill all the time, you really got to show gaps. You really got to present yourself, be in to out. If we're spread out and give him that space, he's the best in the world at taking advantage of those double gaps. So we got to do a great job of just corralling, staying in. Andrew Nembhard was great on him today. I thought Ben Shepherd's minutes were great on him today. But I thought we just did a great job collectively of being in to out. Now, we gave up a couple Lou Dort swing threes. Guys got, made some shots from the outside. But I think that's got to be the emphasis when you guard these guys. You got to be in to out. If you're spread out, that's what they want. They want double gaps so they can drive, get fouls, all those things, and get downhill. So we got to do a great job presenting ourselves.
And as a player that's trying to play and win your first NBA championship. What can you say about y'all's mindset? Because the key is to not get too high, get too low, but it seems like you all have the ability always to bounce back after losses. What's the secret in trying to get game 4?
Just taking it one day at a time. You can, enjoy this, and, I'm sure for the rest of tonight and all tomorrow, everybody's gonna be talking so positive about us, so poor about them. That's how basketball is covered. That's just how it works. So you got to block out the outside noise. We got to come in, watch film as a group, take care of our bodies. Everybody's got to watch film, see where we can get better. And not pay so much attention to the outside noise. Just controlling what we can right now, taking it a day at a time. That's the way you have to approach it. Just take it a day at a time. Because if you try to think so much about what happens if we win or what happens if it can get away from you, and it goes like that. So not taking any day for granted, and just taking it a day at a time.
Hey, what did it feel to have a halftime lead?
I know, right? It's our first time forever. Felt good. But then we relaxed coming out the third, and then they hit us for 6 straight, So, with the way these games flow, no lead is ever safe. All these games, it's just 1 or 2 possessions, and then before you know it, it's close again. So we got to do a better job coming to the half.
And Tyrese, you talked at the top there about paint touches. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe in Oklahoma City, you guys struggled at times getting into the paint.
Yeah.
I thought McConnell came off the bench, Nimhard. You guys 50 points in the paint as a team. But was there anything you guys learned or discovered or figured out in terms of how to attack them, in this game? And, just getting downhill, as you mentioned, getting into the paint.
Well, I don't think there's anything. I mean, learn, yes. It's good to get 2 games of film to really watch, see where you can get better. This is a great defense, but we still got to attack it at the same time. And I think if you operate against these guys by holding the ball, calling up ball screens, and just trying to play that way, they just crawl into you. They want you to do that. They want you to hold the ball so they can jump into you and jump into gaps and all those things. So we just got to do a great job of playing random. We call it pace after, but, got to do a great job of pitching, coming off screens, pin downs, slipping, all those things. You can't give a great defense, the same dose of everything. So just keep adjusting on the fly.
Last one here for you. These fans, this city, waited 25 years to have an NBA Finals game, and our colleague Reggie Miller was sitting courtside for this one. Before the game, it felt like he was more nervous watching the game than any game he played in. He had no idea how this one would play out. What was this like for you to see all those guys, to see Reggie, his family, and these fans have this moment that they've waited a quarter of a century to relive?
Yeah, it's special, and you don't want to take it for granted. I mean, I was like 3 months old last time they made the finals. So, I think our fans are hungry, man. They want to watch winning basketball, and they want to be a part of it. And, I think as a group, we just keep taking – every year we've taken a jump, and we're here now. Don't want to take this time for granted. Just take it a day at a time. But we're just trying to give our fans something to be proud of, trying to play the right way. And it's really cool to see alumni come back, guys like Reggie. Mark Jackson was in the building today. Even Pat and, Edge James and all those guys. That's super cool to see all these people from Indy come out and, get that love, because this really is such a great sports town. And, they deserve the recognition and the love we're getting nationally right now.
And I guess you were right. That mysterious lower leg injury is just fine.
I'm okay.
Okay. There he is. Congratulations. 2 wins away from an NBA championship. Just one day, though, for the first time in this series between games. Tomorrow off, Game 4, back here Friday night, where Charles Barkley will still be working.
Siakam was really way more aggressive tonight than he was in the first couple of games.
He came out aggressive.
He came,
the first 2-3 possessions of the first quarter.
And I know Hallie didn't want to throw him under the bus, but that was like night and day. I told you, if he's aggressive, I think we need more out of Miles Turner. But, man, this was just a bench game today. Get a bench all the love and the flowers.
Yeah.
But McConnell, his numbers don't show up. They still show up. But Mathurin was fabulous and Toppin was fabulous.
Well, I'll tell you about T.J. McConnell, which does show up. First player in NBA history, NBA Finals history, to have a 10-point, 5-assist, 5-steal game off the bench ever. First. So great game by McConnell. He, Mathurin, and Toppin combined for 45 off the bench. You mentioned Siakam. Candace, in the first 3 minutes of the game, he scored the first 6 points for the Pacers.
Yeah, and I told you, this is, I was like, when I was sitting at home watching Game 1, I'm like, holy smoly, what are these guys doing? I hate to be redundant. I said, I go back to Avery Johnson when the Mavericks switched up their lineup against Don Nelson's Golden State Warriors. I'm like, if I got the best team in the world, I'm not changing anything. I'm not changing anything. We're in the NBA Finals. We've been the best team in NBA all year. And can you change it up during the game? Yes, you can. But I thought, Kenny always talks about when a player comes back, it puts everybody in their right situation. I don't think Oklahoma City has, because I told you game 2 was just a wash for me. That was just desperation. But I said, this game tonight going to show me a lot more. And I didn't like the lineup adjustment, and because I'm not sure how it benefits them, because they were the deepest team in the league. Now their bench is getting outplayed. They have the best bench in the NBA, and they're getting outplayed, and that's been the difference in the series so far.
And what you're saying is it takes guys out of their roles.
It takes guys out of their roles. 100% out of their role. But, some of these guys, they think they're damn Red Auerbach out there and want to act like they're the smartest dude in the room.